Hi everyone, my name is Jo and I'm the founder of Raka Business. And today I'm just going to show you a quick little demonstration tutorial on where to find our assessment sheets and how to use them. So let's get started. All right, so this is the website Raka Business. In order to find the assessment sheets, you're going to go to whatever level you're teaching. So let's say A2 level. And then you're going to go into the unit. And then you're going to scroll down to the assessment lesson. The assessment lessons are always going to be lessons 6 and 12 in every single unit, no matter what level. And you see right underneath the lesson here is the assessment sheet. So we're just going to click that and it's going to open in a PDF. This is pretty much how all of the student evaluation sheets look. The only thing that changes is these English categories here. And that's because at different levels, there are different targets. For example, if you go into higher levels, you might have a more grammar focus. And so there would be a section for grammar or something like that. All right, so in order to use this assessment sheet, you're going to have to download it or print it and write on it yourself. You can write on it in Microsoft Edge. They have a drawing tool, and that's on most Windows computers already downloaded by default. Or you can just print it out and write on it as well, and then scan it into your students. So what you're going to do is you're going to put the unit that you're teaching. So this would be Unit 1. The lesson, whether it's 6 or 12. So this is lesson 6, so I would put a 6 there. And the date that you did the assessment on, not the date that you're sending it, the date you did the assessment on is probably what you want to put there for your record. You also want to put the student's name over on the side here, as well as your name on the bottom here. All right, so we can give each category a score of NA, 1, 2, 3, or 4. So if you give it an NA, that means it's not covered. If you're doing this for lessons 6 or 12, all of these categories should be covered. But you can also use this assessment sheet for any of the previous lessons as well. And maybe, in the first lesson, we didn't start talking about any actions yet. So you could put NA for that if you're using this for every single lesson that you want to send something to the students so they know what's how they're progressing. But if you're just using this for lessons 6 and 12, then you shouldn't need to put NA. Score of 1 means a student is struggling. So this could mean that either they are non-responsive or their responses just don't make sense. For example, in this lesson, one of the things I need to say is, "This is my head." Maybe you ask them, "What is this?" and they say yes. That would be an example of them just struggling and not understanding. Number 2 is developing. So this is maybe they're giving one-word responses. So they understand what they're supposed to be saying, but maybe they're just struggling or they need a little extra support in order to say the full thing. So for example, if you're asking them, "What is this?" and they say head, and you need to prompt them to say, "This is my head," then they might be in the developing stage. Understanding is a little bit higher level, obviously. And so that's more of maybe they're trying to make the sentence, but maybe they're grammatically not able to quite make it, or they are saying the full sentence completely, but maybe they don't fully connect the sentence to the picture. So they're just repeating, but they're not really they don't really know what they're saying. So that would be the understanding level. And the score of 4 is application. That's where the student can actually start to form their own sentences, where you can say they know the word nose, which isn't covered in this unit, but you can say, "What is this?" and they're able to understand, "Oh, I'm supposed to use the sentence and say, 'This is my blah, blah, blah.'" So they say, "This is my nose." And so that would be a score of 4, is where they're able to apply the sentence structure to various body parts. And they're able to actually use it in a dialogue and a conversation. All right, and the next section of this student evaluation form is the student's behavior. This is just you clicking yes or no. You do not put the 1, 2, 3, 4 over here, because either they listened or they didn't. Either they were focused or they weren't. Either they participated and were talking to you or they weren't. Either they were kind and respectful or they weren't. And either they were expressive in class and actually tried to say the sentences with some enthusiasm, or they were just a robot and not trying very hard at all and just talking like maybe a robot would. So you just click yes or no for each of these. And then if there's anything you want to put a comment about, you can put it in this bottom section here where it says teacher comments. So maybe you want to talk, maybe you want to explain the score of 3, because there's multiple reasons why you could have a score of 3. So you could explain like the student understood the vocabulary and tried using the sentences, but needs to work on the grammar of the sentences, or keeps forgetting the small words like is. So they say this my head instead of this is my head. So you want to make those comments of why exactly they got those scores in this section here. You also want to make comments on behavior down here as well. So maybe the student was not really focused and they were in their playroom and the parents had gone off to make dinner or something and left their child alone, and the child was just like, all right, well, I'm alone now, so I'm just going to go play with my toys. You can put that in this section here as well, so the parents know what happened during the class. That gave them a poor behavior score as well. You also want to put positive comments though as well. So you want to say like the student did a very good job at pronouncing the difficult sound R, because R can be very hard for a lot of students. It's pronounced different in very many different languages. So the letter R is very difficult. So maybe you want to say, the student did very well pronouncing the word R in the word arm. And so you want to highlight positive things as well. When giving commentary, I usually like to follow the format of positive, negative, positive. So you're making like a sandwich with your comments where you say something positive first and then something that needs improvement and then finish with something positive. So you can follow that structure as well for your teacher comments. And this is just a 1-sheet page that you can download, write on, print, and send to your student however you communicate with them, whether it's on WeChat, social media, or just through email. All right, and that's how we use our student evaluation sheets. Thanks so much, and make sure to follow me on Facebook and Twitter. Thanks so much. Have a nice day.